let's give this another shot. I think we should be all suited now with things functioning as they should be. But again, I'll give people a second or two to join in. And at least give myself a second so I can moderate myself. There we are. Lovely. All right, you did not set me. That might be part of the ticket as to why it's acting up. We'll give that one more shot, I suppose. That should do it. Nothing can ever go right the first time around, now can it? That's much better. So, now we have things set up where this is, in fact, a server. And pardon the fact that my map is filled in a little bit, I did have to set up our general spawn box. But this world should be ready to be explored. Brand new and technically open to the gods above. I did not want to see that right off the bat, but this is what I get for starting things off this way. Hello, D-Class. Hello and welcome in. Happy to have you joining for my Foundation escapades. Oh, I also should probably fix that. Plenty of hiccups today, isn't it? Lovely. Now we are back to a point where I'm actually playing fairly. All right. So, back to square one, I suppose. It wouldn't be a bad idea for me to hunt down another foundation building to claim as my homestead. It also wouldn't be a bad idea to get myself some basic tools. Or this bed that I had apparently stolen. Well, we'll fix up this dirt that I broke, but we'll toss these other items because I truly don't deserve them. Those were from something else. But yes, let's get into actually having some things to work with. Can't be just sitting here doing nothing. Right. There we are. Basic setup to get us started. And that golden shovel won't be doing us any favors in terms of actually building things. But that's not the point. The point of that is so that I can claim land and not be tormented by potential D-class or others. Because this world will be open to people. As you can see right there, not only are my mutuals allowed to join, but if you subscribe and get yourself into the Discord, you can also do so. It should be set to automatically arrange that as well. It wouldn't be a bad idea for me to take out these pigs, get as much food as I possibly can. They go down pretty easily. I almost think they're sentient running away like that. Right. I do wonder if anyone from the usual spiel will join in with us. Potentially not. It is quite late for most of them. But at least things are sorted now. After I take out enough of these, I think that I will get myself a furnace and then we can start looking for a place to live. And if push comes to shove, I can always make my way back to the spawn area and steal that bed. And by steal, I mean sleep in. I can't physically pick it up. Leave the chickens alone for now. Ah, that balloon I put on there does make a lovely waypoint, doesn't it? Actually, speaking of waypoints, I should head back over there and set one. That way I can always find my way back over there. Alright. And at this point I should also be looking to get some stone to cook this. And making my way back there won't be the worst idea either, because again it is growing dark. But for the time, we're at least going to get a waypoint set here. There we are. That way we'll never be too far from it. I wonder how far out this is. Yes, we're still in the admin area. Oh, I already hear things spawning in. We'll deal with our hunger come morning. I suppose we could always eat the raw stuff, but I'd much rather not. This makes a good enough temporary base. At least until I can get my hands on something more worth it. Is this hard? No. Alright. There's the edge of the admin claim. Finally. Now we can get to work on actually feeding ourselves. Find some coal as well, hopefully. We do have a bit of a mountainous area here. But I suppose wood will make do as well. And we can also use this pickaxe as our first sacrifice. Or actually, I'll use it until failure, and then we can use all of our other tools for sacrifice. Then we can begin to wander our way and try to find our place in the world. There we are. Lovely, an upgrade right off the bat. Now we can start getting rid of these to cook something up. They'll burn away quickly, but at least it'll give us a meal or two. I suppose I should keep looking for some coal. Or at least stock up on some stone. It will become important for us if we are to actually make a base rather than take over one of the foundations. This is 1.12.2, but it is only open to mutuals and those who subscribe to my TikTok. And it is modded as well. Hopefully that at least got one thing fully cooked. It did. Wonderful. Yes, the textures are older because it is in fact an older version. But let's see if we can find ourselves some coal. Or at least some sheep. That would be nice as well to have a bed for our wandering. But yes, food and shelter are now our top priority. Actually, a certain token would also be grand. Getting our hands on that vending machine would be nice. Oh, not the vending machine, that certainly would have coal, but I'm not ready to face any threats. I really should be more careful with how willing I am to take fall damage. It's not like I'm in an advanced state yet. There's some coal. That's the sort of thing I'm looking for. Those all sound so much closer than I'd like them to be. This will allow us to cook up the rest of our food, hopefully. A decent sum as well, that's always good. Some torches also wouldn't be a bad investment, I suppose. Start fortifying some of the things I do have and all. Hello, D-Class. And thank you for following along on my Foundation-sanctioned escapades. My classic bit of enrichment. Gods above, this is a giant vein of coal. I suppose I can't be looking a gift horse in the mouth. I do need the supplies, but I'm getting a bit sick of mining. I'm more of the stealing type. Alright. Hopefully the sun is still high in the sky. All right. I suppose we'll make pace with the daylight if we... Ah, perfect. You're exactly the lot I'm looking for. Perfect. And we'll just take what we need from them for the time being. I'm not tempted to take a boat trip just yet. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to have one on me, at least. There we are. I suppose I'll replant this as well. And might as well get some more wood on me while we're about. I would very much like to find myself a foundation building. What am I sitting at with this? Yeah, that's fine. I won't be able to claim the entirety of one, I'm certain, but as long as I get far enough away. Doesn't even need to be a foundation building, truly. I'd be content with a village, just something that would grant me a little extra safety. Right. That's nearly a stack. Let's see how far cooked these are. Alright, well, we'll continue on until those are done. This certainly isn't my usual time for doing this. I suppose also a goal would be to get as far away from spawn as I possibly can. Even if I can claim my land, I don't exactly want neighbors. They can leave me alone. But a trade route would also not be too terrible. Suppose I just need the right set of neighbors. I also technically could just be nomadic. I don't necessarily need a place to lay my head at night, although once it hits a point of collecting items, I will need some flavor of base. And at least I can have my set homes. That will make life a large sum easier. Alright. And apples are definitely a good thing to collect right off the bat because I know how many tokens require them. It'll also make me make a point to actually fully raid foundation buildings. Never know when someone else might swoop in for them. Although the question right now is finding one. We'll also have to ensure that we don't have any sheep-based incidents. There we are. Alright, almost set cooking those. You shouldn't be too difficult to deal with. There we are. And a spider eye, even more valuable. Those will come in quite handy later. There we are. Suppose I will be using this axe until failure. Or at least close. Who knows, perhaps I will make a house of my own rather than just stealing one. Alright, only 2 left on that, and I may as well cook the mutton I have as well. And there that goes. I won't leave floating trees. And we'll get that sorted as well. May as well grant myself another axe for the time being. And I did forget that I have access to this. A little extra inventory space. Put the things you won't necessarily need immediately. I don't plan to claim anything right away either. As entertaining as watching paint dry with this. Alright. And now we can be off. Well, I suppose sailing will get us further away from spawn. As much as I don't necessarily wish to be taking a boat trip about now. That is an object of note, but I'm not exactly ready to take it out. I should certainly focus on getting my hands on some armor. I'm a bit squishier than I'd like to be. Gods above, this ocean is large. Not even seeing much around me. Right, well, we can head over here, I suppose. The goal is to at least find a foundation building before cutting off. Although that in itself is a bit of a gamble. This area might not be bad for getting dogs. Right. Let's see what we're working with, potentially. Ah, there are some dogs here. I heard one. There you all are. Well, I'm not going to be one to pick a fight, but I do want to remember to come back here. Having a full army of wolves might not be the worst thing in the world. Actually, perhaps I don't even wish to have a surface level base. A more wooded area would also be nice. Oh, an open field. I wonder if that could grant me a horse. Then again, just because it could get me a horse doesn't mean I'm prepared to have one yet. It's not like I even have a saddle. I could tame them all, though, if I see them, and that would No, that would simply make it easier for others. Horses aren't exactly loyal. And would give me something to work towards, though. Another cluster of sheep. These clusters are all spawning in with the same colors. That's intriguing. 2 white, 1 black, 1 brown. Anything of value down here immediately? No. Getting some plain old iron also wouldn't be bad. Time is the most advantageous tool I could take advantage of right now. Time before any of my peers decide to join. Make it so that they won't exactly one-tap me if we encounter each other. No exposed iron right off the bat, though. No horses over here either. Shame. The sugarcane will be important later. Plenty of things require paper in this mod. You know what? I will be the devil. I'll take the ones that can grow back. Make it more difficult for others. There we are. More sheep in the same clustered spawn. One can consider that an anomaly of itself. Cows are also good. Leather is required for many things. And if push comes to shove, it could be used for my first bit of armor. And if nothing else, a food source. Very good. I may as well take some pumpkins. If they're here. That's not what I wanted. Alright. There we are. Alright. Any decent open mine areas? Again, you lead to nothing. It's going to fall night again soon. But not that it matters much to me. I have a bed and I'm the only one here, so it's not like people are going to force me to make my way through the night. More dogs. It is almost tempting to stay up a bit later, though, just to... you're very close to them. I am not risking accidentally hitting a wolf in my endeavors to kill a cow. That would be a mistake I doubt I'd live through. I'm not going all the way up there for you. This looks much more promising. Ugh. Well, promising all the same, but a bit more dangerous. May as well get ourselves some torches to work with if we're going to start this. Almost looks man-made. There we are, some iron. That'll do us good. May as well also take this coal while we're at it. Never have enough. I always look at it like such a garbage ore, and then I never have any. Not too keen on repeating those past mistakes. These coal veins are extremely large, though. There we are. And we'll take refuge here through the night. We may as well make ourselves a new pickaxe as well. That's not what I wanted. We'll get to spoil myself, I know. Right. And I won't balk at some extra torches. Alright. Oh, you just go down, Well, you have iron for me all the same, and I will be taking that. Let's first make sure we have a clear exit strategy here. And there goes you, which is why we had made extras. Ah, and even more iron, aren't we lucky? I also hear lava bubbling, so I better be careful. There we are. Perfectly done. And onward and upward. I did bring my crafting. Yes, I got that back. Good. Alright. That's been taken care of, and I am still curious about you. Specifically getting down safely. This is 1.12.2, and we're playing modded, so this is the SCP lockdown version. The aim of the game right now is your basic survival, at least until any of my peers decide they wish to join in, which likely will not be happening tonight because it is already late and a holiday. Alright. Now let's not die to stupid things. There we are. It really doesn't matter how lost I get in the moment. It's not like we have a home. And when we do eventually get one, I'm going to be setting a warp there. Lovely. That's it. That's all we get from going down here. These are drab little cave systems, aren't they? And I know I could just continue to dig, but I'm not exactly in the mood yet. I'm more so inclined to try and find a foundation building. I have plenty of food, so you get to live. Oh, well, I guess one of you doesn't get to live. And was that a Dr. Kolinsky I saw pop in for a second? Well, you'll be happy to see that I'm making good on my promise. So if anyone's interested in that, we now do have a server. Although I do have to set up the general function for that on Discord as well. It's not like I'd be able to add you in the second while I'm streaming anyway. There we are. I know how valuable leather is, so I'm going to take a good amount of it while I can. I am uncertain on that, but doubtful, because it is a Forge mod. So if you're thinking of joining through Pocket Edition, you absolutely can't. But if you can get the SCP Lockdown mod functioning on Bedrock, yes, you would need a computer. Because this is modded. Ah, more pumpkins. That's another thing I was after. Well, not specifically, but I'd like to have more than one if I'm going to have them in general. Yes, you wouldn't be able to join through Xbox. So you may still be in the observation seat for this. Oh, and some more surface level coal. I may as well take advantage of it. Come here. No use in running. There we are. Not as big of a vein, but again, take what one can get. Ah, that looks like a much more promising opening to a cave. Or perhaps not. More so it looks as though it's simply an overhang. You might have something, though, and more sugarcane for me to steal, which I'm not against. Oh, you also look quite promising. Ah, that's less desirable. I am not exactly geared up to a point where I can easily take fights. Yes, there is in fact a Discord server which would be used for the setup of this. Alright, at least you're taken out. At least draw some first blood, I suppose. That went much better for me than usually expected. I hear another skeleton. Ah, gods above. Who's swimming? Ah, you've heard me from a mile away now, haven't you? Alright, well, you're dead. And I'd like you to simply come out into the sun. Nothing from that drop. Shame. Yes, there will be a member section of the Discord as well, although that is technically set up. I just need to set up a way for you to Give me your information so that you could be whitelisted on this server. Right, that's taken care of. Okay, I wish to go back up here as well. Dear, this is a subscribers thing for it. So you can join the regular Discord with no issue. It's that it has a special section for people who decide that they want to do that. Yes, and it's of no obligation for you to do so. You still have the access that you currently have. That won't be changing. Oh, you're close. Come along. No, no. There we are. Easy does it. And sunset approaches. Oh, this area is decently lit up. Doubt there's too many beasties out to get me down here. Oh, there's more iron for certain, though. And I'm very interested in that. So we'll make our way over there in a minute. Actually, we'll make that minute a little faster. There we are. Lovely. Yeah, working on your own foundation site. This one doesn't exactly have one. You were more so just dropped in the middle of the wilderness in a lovely box. At least granted with some protections right off the bat. Yeah, have you two been playing together? That's sweet. He is definitely a better depiction of a member of Task Force. I'll give him that for certain. That's fair enough. Actually, for a quick second, I might bother someone. Although, again, they might be resting. There we are. Just in case. See if they're interested. We'll replace you with you for the time being. I already know there's a skeleton down here somewhere. A large amount of iron, that's good. We'll just simply light this up first. I may as well keep the mushrooms as well. Gods above. Missed me. There we are. I'll have to make a new sword at some point as well. At least we're decently stacked up on things at the moment. I really should calm down with how much coal I'm going for. Because I keep doing that. By the time I break this next one, I'm not certain if I have seen that. Right, there we are. Moved away just before it finished breaking. Shame on me. There we are, more coal. I may as well light that shady corner up. Alright, there's some of that iron I was looking for. Getting this far tool-wise will be quite handy, although I may skimp on the tools for the time being and go straight for the armor. The stone has been doing me well enough. It's being squishy that I'm not exactly fond of. I hear another skeleton around. That sounds to be getting closer. No, thank you. There you are. Oh, that's not fair that you could hit me through there. Alright, we'll deal with you in a bit. Alright. Oh, you've learned. Alright, come on. Ouch. I don't like this little spinning trick you're pulling. Alright. Light this up as well. Nothing much over here. I might leave the coal be this time. Must be close to underwater. Alright. So that's about the extent of what we have here. We'll put away some of our other... Jesus, I've gotten quite a bit of raw beef. Alright, well, we'll deal with that later. Put more garbage away. Well, I hope you have fun with your Uno stream. Alright, let's get this cooked up for the time being. Let's see if there's anything else to explore around here that I didn't touch. Not necessarily. Yeah, so just simply having a fun time together. Or perhaps Vanguard will be streaming it. I should be careful wandering off. I'll lose where this is, and that'll be quite the treat for someone else. Alright. That's a fair enough idea. At least get yourself something out of the matter. Now I have at least a few bones as well if I want to try and get some dogs. That is fair. I really need to be more careful with this shelf I have next to me. I'm going to cause it to topple. Honestly, for the time being, we may just move this. That'll situate itself. It's not like it's going to fall. Alright. Yeah, one short for pants, but just enough for a helmet. Waiting on this is boring as all sin. May as well see if we can find anything a bit deeper. At least while we're at it, that is. Hello, Woods. Streaming a bit later tonight, but something a bit different. As you can see when I hold tab, this is in fact a server. So as I said, if you do subscribe, then this is something you will gain access to. I'm not seeing much of interest down here. I more so just want to get my iron and continue exploring. I should have more than enough for tools and a full set of armor, which is all the better. I need some more sticks, though. All right. Well, what is your tip? I'm much more maybe interested in looking for a forest to hide away in, but in the same breath, the animals I like to keep would make that difficult. Although I could always make an artificial one. Something large and imposing to keep out neighbors. Six isn't quite enough yet, is it? No, I need one more for that full set of armor. And I may as well wait for this to fully smelt. Fair enough. There we are. Pants. We'll keep the good pickaxe up there for the time being. But I'm not against iron for weaponry as well. These will just be our special tools for the time being. Not yet to be used. Although I suppose that would be a better use for our ender chest, wouldn't it? Rather than simply stashing things we don't want to use at the moment, stashing things that we wouldn't want to lose. So since our stone tools do serve us well for the time being, we'll just have a few more of those as spares. Then we can worry more. Yes, it is the same mod that you would normally see me playing, the SCP Lockdown. So, technically, our annoying little D-class friend could join me. You would not be able to play via a console. This is Java Edition. And in terms of joining, this would be a subscriber or mutuals type of deal. But if you can go through either of those channels, then you would be able to. Alright. Put this up here for the time being as well. I suppose I'm getting more and more desperate for having a place to lay my head. Ah, it is night, speaking of laying my head. I'm not certain if she'll disrupt the peace tonight. It is already quite late. But we are a bit sturdier now with our armor. I'm definitely not against getting some more bones either to potentially have some dogs. There we are. Alright, onward. And we're well off food-wise, so that won't be a problem for a while. I'd be much happier if I could find myself a foundation building to curl up in. But I could always be self-sufficient. I'd like to get quite a ways from spawn, which I suppose I already have. At least let me find a nice-looking place to settle down. And hello, Vanguard. I saw you pop in, at least for a second. I suppose it is technically morning on my end as well. I'm not going to bed. But also, Vanguard, if you have Java Edition, this invitation is technically open to you. That is extremely tall. 8 a.m. for you, 1 a.m. for me. Same difference. Yes, Java Edition. The sheep keeps spawning in the same color-coded variety. And it's making me... Oh, hello, something to rob. Perfect. Well, if you can figure out how to do it, and you learn how to install mods, then you would be welcome to join in on this. Excuse me as I rob these villagers for all their worth. And their carrots. Will give me a quick access to more types of vegetation for later use. I can grow it for myself. Plenty of the useless villagers as well, it seems. The PC can run Java and Bedrock is the ticket. Some beetroots as well. Those are always such a pain. At least getting their seeds wise. They don't always give you extra. I may have to decide to settle... Oh. Well then. But I may settle down here for the time being. It wouldn't be the worst place. And they do have a blacksmith, even better. And a saddle, my. We are set to have a horse if the time comes. I wish I didn't make pants now. My pockets are getting quite full. What things can we just toss away? Put the apple up here. And we'll store these as well. That saddle I certainly don't want to lose. But I guess I wouldn't be opposed to having a bit of a livelihood down here. Don't snark off to me. What's that book you're selling? Unbreaking. Could be better, could be worse. Getting some poisonous potatoes would also be handy for future tokens. What do you want? Your paper prices are exorbitant. But Vanguard, if you do check the Discord, specifically the mutuals section of it, you should see more information. Again, the trouble with these beetroots is how few seeds they give you. Alright, I think I've milked this place for all it's worth. But in the same breath, while I don't necessarily wish to live here long term, I'm also not against using it as a storage site. At least dump some things. I'll take one of the nicer houses. We'll see if one has a... why are they all in the ground? Do you have a brewing stand in you is my next question. Gods above, all of you charge so much paper. Alright, I guess I'll claim this one here. Or perhaps the library-looking one. Already has a crafting table in it. Alright. And for the time being, we'll make ourselves at home here. And thank you for following along with my Foundation escapades. This is now my claim. And I still have plenty of space to make another. Alright. There we are. A temporary storage space for myself. Stash some things away that I don't exactly wish to lose, but don't exactly wish to hold on to either. That way they won't be picked up by any pesky D-class. Honestly, in emergency situations, I may as well have a spare set of tools in here as well. Just in case I get screwed over. At least give me some level of security. A little booster, if you will. Alright. It's just things we can toss aside. We'll let ourselves have a bit of iron as well for emergency's sake. No, I wish to keep that for certain. And we'll make our way back here when the moment comes. These villagers coming in here are going to be a problem, though, I can feel. Actually, for the time being, we may as well try and cook all of our food as well. Hello, everyone. This is my home, by the way. I know you likely made it, but I have taken over. I also simply randomly appeared by technicality. I suppose I'll abandon this furnace here as well. Can always make another one. Oh, that is quite the number of people, isn't it? Not used to having that many eyes on me. Alright. I may as well make a few of these. You don't exactly need these bookshelves as much as I could use some furnaces. Yes, I'm breaking your things. Would you look at that? Making this more to my needs. Lovely. That way we can split this up a bit. That's where we want to take these. Lovely. There we are. Oh, God's above, I doubt it. I'm simply continuing onward. What do you want? I don't have that much rotten flesh, let alone that much gold. Actually, we can continue splitting this up as well. May as well make this process as quick as possible. Right. A decently set up area. And for the... Actually, I may abandon the pork and simply use the beef if I'm making so much of it. May as well keep the better food supply on hand. And we'll be back over here in a second. I'd like to abandon that bed here, but that also means that I would like to have a new one in my pocket. Perfect, there are those sheep. I could also play nice with them and not slaughter them, but I really don't want to invest my iron in shears right now. There we are. Alright. Now we can have a second bed, one that we can take along with us while having this one here. Please leave. Personally, get out of my house. Genuinely, get out of my house. I don't care what your opinions are of me. There we are. That's one way to deal with the likes of them. Alright. There we go. Now an extra bed, a boat, food. We're doing quite well for ourselves, I'd say. Now, do we have coal on us? Yes, we do. We can leave the rest of that here. We'll put these away as well. Leave that as some emergency food. But for the time being, this will make a decent temporary holdout. Yes, once I have a farm of my own, I'll make some shears, but for now, not exactly worth the effort. Suppose I'll also keep a furnace on hand, just in case. But we can abandon this area for the time being. I did set a home here, so I can get back at any point I wish. Well, hopefully you don't get caught. Another extremely tall sugarcane. Well, I didn't snitch, so this isn't my fault. There we are. Don't look at me, it wasn't my fault. Alright. Onward we go. Quite a flat expanse of the ocean there. Wonder if there are any wolves I could potentially get. This does look to be the right biome for them after all. Lovely. Alright. Keeping my ears open for any barking noises. A dog or two wouldn't be a terrible thing to have, though I only have 4 bones. More SCP testing. Well, I could believe that the Foundation would try and take away any privileges that grant even the minutest amount of joy. Something I certainly wouldn't put above them. Perhaps I should have put a waypoint at that home. I forgot that I did grant access to this as well. We can put that there. Will this function? It certainly will. Lucky me. SCP-999 is an absolute delight. Always such a happy creature. I don't know how it manages to do it. Alright. Not seeing any dogs. Not hearing any either. I did earlier, though. I'm also in a good position if I come across a horse. 'Cause I already do have a saddle. Yeah, being able to befriend anything is a valuable skill. One that a certain D-class who goes by the name Gillard absolutely has. Ah, rabbits. I don't need to concern myself with you yet, though. I will take the sugarcane, though. I'm always in need of paper with this mod. Gillard with a J, my dear. And Gillard's delightful. They're in no such trouble. Well, that sounds like a you problem. Perhaps you should go see if it wants some pets. If it eats you, I'll get a laugh. The zombie out already. Well, I suppose I could see how dangerous things get. It's not like I don't have access to slash back. Ew, gods above, one of you as well. Fine, I'm starting to learn my lesson. Maybe I should go home and sleep for the night. Goodbye. Oh, that's a quick way to get out of trouble. Although if you do enter a combat situation, I believe it does stall you. Alright, onward. More of an issue to have for when there's actually people around. Well, it seems that 096 has been doing that frequently. And again, not exactly a concern of mine. Recontaining isn't really my forte. I mostly handle experiments rather than actually containing things. It's not like I'm a member of Task Force, one of the O5's precious lapdogs. I more deal with the D class than anything. Alright, let's see. It feels like everything is ocean, honestly. Hello, D-Class, and thank you for following along on my Foundation escapades and the teeniest bit of enrichment I'm allowed to have. Something other than these snowy biomes, please. I'd like to actually make a life for myself. Anyone who works here willingly has some level of corruption in them. There we are. Not you, incorrect. You're simply in denial. An igloo. There really isn't much to steal from those, if I remember correctly. There is a bed. I suppose I wouldn't be against having another one of those. Just in case. Well, that's as I said, people who are working here willingly. You wouldn't fall under that category, now would you? So much of this expansive nothing. Well, I wasn't saying that it doesn't make you corrupt. What I'm saying is, if you do work here willingly, it is undeniable that you are corrupt in some way, shape, or form. Ah, a flock of sheep that doesn't have that color spread for once. I'm not going to go clean up anything. Again, I'm not the janitorial staff. Ah, flower forest. That might not be a bad place to lay some roots down. I have several feelings about the electric sheep. None of them are good. Plenty of resources down here as well. A nice area in general. Yes, the thunder sheep. They're awful. Oh. There's some O5 rabbits here. That almost makes this more tempting of a place to lay roots. Having access to a rabbit farm this early on. There are plenty of rabbits, too. if I don't enjoy staying here, I can always do something else. We can mark this area down as a solid maybe. Taking over structures is also pretty decent of a thing to do. And Herobrine is not an SCP, that's simply an old wives' tale. Oh, I like the layout of this. The question is, do I have enough claim blocks to make it mine? I could make a lovely grotto. I doubt you did. It is a server, but it's not like there's anyone else here. Alright. That's certainly not enough to fully secure this place, but we can at least make a start. What is burning? Oh, you're what's burning. Well, I'm certain you did, Pat. Alright. Let's see how far into this we can get. Grand. Well, it's a start, I suppose. Actually, perhaps I won't waste my claim blocks just yet. I'm not able to get a decent chunk of this. There we are. The area itself is nice, though. Nice and quite tempting. Alright. That formation is decent looking, though. And I like the idea that there's rabbits right off the bat, and I wouldn't have to get a predator drone to have them. But I suppose that's also in the same breath a reason why rabbits shouldn't be my end-all be-all for where I choose to live. I do like that grotto area, though. The space as a whole is quite nice. Gods above, perhaps I'll consider it further. Oh, a desert as well. It is so very pretty. Fine. We'll settle down here for the time being. Getting up higher will also be important. I'll have to make myself a genuine path, it seems. Or we can also simply do this. Alright. This will make do for now. Abandon this red bed here. I should really attempt to get my point at the top of this. Yes, yes, I hear your spooky music. I forget you actually make me click it in this one. We'll get ourselves up there and then we'll deal with things. Or perhaps even on top of that side, who knows. Just missed me. Alright. Suppose we'll see what we're working with all the way up here. Not terrible. Far away from others as well. But if I do want horses, well, I plan to expand. It'll all be fine, I suppose. If I grow tired of this place, I can always move. I am free to go wherever I wish. Alright, well, free to do as I wish within the guides of these blocks. That truly is barely anything, isn't it? I suppose what I could do as well to expand this further is I could abandon my claim back at the village. And then I can continue working from there. Alright. Not like there's anyone else I have to worry about just yet. Take everything with us. Perhaps I should have waited on that. Alright. There we are. Alright. Do I at least have a stick on me that I can check? Lovely. You don't need anything beautiful for the time being, just functional. And we'll get our bed set up here as well. There we are. Dump some more things off. Gods above, still don't have the space, do I? Alright. Put that away. Keep you on hand. Actually, you can be seated on the ground. That will do well for the time being. And that'll give us a few more claim blocks to use. Now, in which way do I want to expand? This way, I suppose. Yes, this way for certain. It's not as if I have much space to expand, but all the same, more land is more land. Drat, can't even push out that much further. But we have something to start us off with. Perhaps next time around we can work on getting a genuine house going rather than out in the woods. But I'm not against being out in the woods, I suppose. May as well also make this easy on myself, marking with torches. There's your other. Alright, let's find where that last corner is. There you are. Just have those set for the time being. And may as well do that too. Alright. Maybe if we're lucky over there, we'll find ourselves a... gods above, what's the word? A temple, that's what I'm thinking of. Easy splash landing to get away. But yes, if I could find a temple so soon. Gods above, what are you yelling my name for? What could you possibly need from me? Alright. I don't care if they're fighting. I hope -10 kicks the bucket. I don't need any more O5s on my case. The less O5s, the better. No one breathing down my neck. It doesn't look like I'm going to be finding any. You will certainly not be calling Dash 1. Besides, at this hour, I doubt he'd show. Hello to this one brave pumpkin in the desert. This smells like an Enderman. Plenty of sugarcane here as well. I may wish to start farming that. There's a lot of this here. Gods above. I should have set a waypoint at the flower forest home, but I can always warp back at a moment's notice. Alright. There we are. Do I need every single piece of sugarcane I see? No. Am I taking it anyway? Yes. There we are. Surprised I've yet to find any foundation buildings. Haven't found too much of interest in general other than that village. Alright. Well, isn't that quite the mountain range there? Well, isn't this a dramatic biome shift? Actually, what is that I'm seeing on the map? Alright. Ah, that is what I thought it was. Lucky me. Another village to make friends with. By that I mean rob. Oh, hello. Are all of you zombies? Looks like you guys suffered quite the fate, didn't you? Why did you stop burning? There we are, that's better. There we go. Any hearts that you plan to drop? Well, it looks as though this village didn't have a good time, did it? Ah, and there goes my sword. Good thing we have a backup. Better yet, they do in fact have a blacksmith here. That is quite a lot of armor and a good sword. And apples. I hear you coming. Gods above, that is basically an entire replacement set. I may take a trip back home to dump that. And perhaps I'll actually make an attempt at organizing my chests this time around. Not this moment, but eventually. Alright. Also though, like, genuinely out of character, let's avoid, like, pinging 051 over nonsense. He is, like, you know, out of character. He's a real person. Like, we don't have to be, like, messing with him constantly. Every once in a while, it can be funny. But if we're doing this every stream, he's gonna start to, like, get annoyed with me, like, out of character. I'm trying to steer you guys away from it in character by mentioning he's busy, but that hasn't been getting the point across. But yeah, like, leave the guy be. We don't need to be doing this all the time. I'm not mad at any of you or anything. It's just, we gotta tone it down. Alright. But now we can get back to this. There's a D class in chat. Well, what flavor of D class are we talking about? Well, it seems as though there isn't a D class here. More so asking if there was one. Alright. I'd like to continue onward until we at least spot a foundation building. We found 2 villages so far. And that's grand and all. But in the same breath, I am truly surprised we haven't found even one yet. And it's not as though the SCP mod isn't active, because if I go in here, we can see those. This is such a nice wide open space. You would think one would spawn in here. Hello, rabbits. Who would have thought enrichment at this hour would be so exhausting, to say the least. Gods above. I just wish to find one building. Is that so much to ask for? I hope not. I missed. There we are. At least I don't have to worry about making the walk back to my base. Yes, yes, back to sailing the seven seas. It may not be a bad idea. Is that even in this version? I'm guessing it's not. No stew for me, then. Oh, another one of you. Finding 2 ocean monuments and 2 villages, yet no foundation building. Actually, I wonder. Yes, no. There is no suspicious stew in this version. Shame. I was going to make use of that. So little land, even. Although we've covered quite a bit of ground from the original spawn point. Is that a savanna? Potentially? Yes. Alright. These biomes are usually large enough to be worth wandering. Now, original spawn is about 6,483 blocks from here. How lovely. Yes, all we've gotten out of it so far is a savanna. Better than those cold biomes, though. Not looking like this is going to be a large plot of land. I mean, large enough, but it's still in the middle of the ocean. At least want to load the majority of it in. Not wait to see if there's any foundation building. Though in the same breath, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take my rest. There we go. Flying is not enabled on this server. Well, excuse me, I don't think that's what I was doing. Alright then. I apologize for my apparent flight. The buildings shouldn't be any more rare here than they are in other places. It's not like I messed with their configs. It's simply that you can never find something when you're looking for it. I mean, push comes to shove, I can always try and make an effort to get some tokens on hand. But that'll be a mission for a different day. How could wandering the savannah possibly remind you of any time in the 40s? This is technically a server which would allow people to join, but that is exclusively for people who have subscribed to this. That and those who are mutuals that I regularly make content with. Oh, hello. One of you kicked the bucket at some point, I see. I'll make life easier on someone if I tame you right off the bat. Or you can continue to run away from me. It's quite rude. Lovely, I've made a friend. Alas, they're only really good as animals for carrying things, not riding. So it doesn't really mean anything to have it tamed. Suppose I did it for the sake of doing it. Is that potentially... I don't believe so, but I may as well check. Deserts could have goodies. And I do like getting my thieving little hands on trinkets. Gods above, another village. Well, may as well. Again, not what I'm after. That brings us to a total of 3 villages and 2 ocean monuments before we will ever see a foundation building. Is there a blacksmith here? That's truly all I'm interested in. Not looking so. Alright. Well, shame. Alright. At least continue onward through the desert to potentially see something else of value. I've seen foundation buildings spawn in the desert before, so you never know, I suppose. I've also traveled quite a ways out. So it's a bit upsetting I haven't found one yet. Perhaps in our single-player world we were simply lucky. They were few and far between there as well after we had gone through the one near spawn. Alright. Continue going around this way. At least fill out our map. That is also unnaturally tall. Ah! That's something a bit more desirable. Still not a foundation building, but it should have goodies worthwhile all the same. Potentially this will be our ending off point as well. At least get at some sort of high note. Well, after we dig it out, I suppose. There we are. Alright. Do I have... I do still have torches on me. Lovely. Hello, D-Class, and thank you for joining along in my Foundation-sanctioned escapades of enrichment. Alright, this is why we keep extras on us. And this will give me some TNT right off the bat as well. Mandy beware, I suppose. Emeralds, not shabby. May as well take the sand if we're going to have it anyway. Bones are good for getting creatures. Honestly, with how this mod works, everything in these chests are worthwhile. I suppose I'll leave the sandstone be. Fortune not too bad. And another saddle, even better. Alright. So, what are all of you thinking? Would this be a good place to end it for the night? Alright. Well, I'm not against ending it here, and truly I am getting tired myself. That is completely fair, especially with the hour it currently is. But I think for the time being we'll call it there. I won't make my way back home like I usually do, because I would like to continue exploring this area next time around. Plus, it's far away from anywhere Mandy would spawn in. I know that D-Class would be keen on tormenting me up close and personal. Alright. And for a sec I thought I saw something else of use over that way. But take care. We are going to call it there for the night. Remember, if you do decide that you wish to subscribe to this TikTok, you would be granted access to this server. Just make sure that you're a member of the Discord. But for now, it is time for me to call it a night after this very long excursion.